Hi there. Welcome, welcome. Wake up and smell the coffee. I hope everybody's doing really well out there. I just want to make sure that I keep getting some content out there for all you guys and girls. We're trying to understand what's happening to us in this life every day. What's really going on. Answering some questions. And I'm sharing a little bit of my life with you and my thoughts with you guys and girls. And like I've been saying, please like, subscribe, share, shoot me a comment, email me. My email will be in the description. I want to make sure that you look back at my other videos so that you can start piecing together the content that I'm putting out there. So you can get a good idea of what's going on in my head and what I'm trying to share with you guys. I do have a definite destination that I'm heading toward. And I want this to be a journey for all of us. So please share this. Ask your friends to subscribe. I want to grow this into a community that I can learn from as well, and that we can have a platform to discuss things, bounce ideas off of each other, and get some answers here. I know there's some answers to find, and I want to get us all there. Okay, I've spent many years now searching, looking at things, thinking about things, and I'm definitely starting to draw some conclusions and shining a light on what's happening in this world and potentially what we're meant to be doing in this life. So please look at my other content. Watch things all the way to the end. Might be a little bit hard if I've shot for an hour or close to 90 minutes, but sometimes I get wrapped up and I'm rambling. But watch to the end. Normally the lesson is at the end. I'll try and tie things together and put some important things at the end. So it's important you get that end message. If you don't want to wait, forward it a little bit and make sure you see the end, okay? But listen, I hope you guys are well. What have you been up to? I hope that it's settling into you guys that your government doesn't love you and isn't caring for you very much. A lot of my videos of late, they've been a little bit dark. I've said that. And I don't want it to be dark. I want to inject a lot of humor. We got to have smiles on our faces. We got to be happy. That's part of our job here is that we have to create our happiness and we have to create a great environment while we're here. So I want to cover happy topics, and I'm going to get into some other subject matters, and we're going to dive into a lot of stuff. Today, it's going to get a little bit dark a little bit as well, and we're going to go into a topic that no doubt is going to be controversial and is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. But that's part of what we do here, and it's all part of the process. We have to do this. I'm not going to shy away from anything. If you don't like what I've said, shoot me a comment, and we can go over it another time. But it's important what we do. I just wanted to say also, I did put some content out there. It was titled, "Do you know who controls the world? Will you perceive the puppet master or be controlled by it?" And it did not get many views. It was actually one of my better pieces of content put out there. So I'm just putting that out there. Go find that. Watch that, especially to the end. That was where the lesson was, and it was good. So go watch that one. And please keep liking and subscribing and watching my other pieces of content so that we can get somewhere with what we're doing. Now, I also want to say this, that these videos are only for entertainment purposes. So don't take anything too serious with what I'm saying, right? But how you guys been doing out there in your lives? Maybe you got a job. How's your job going? Is it fulfilling? What about your social life? How's everything going? I know we got the World Cup going on right now, so a lot of people are watching that at my workplace. A lot of the team is actually glued to the TV screens, and they're watching a lot of games. The World Cup is, I used to love it. I used to love watching that. I used to get totally engrossed with American football as well. I know some of my friends that are going to watch this are going to relate to that. And they may still be into the Detroit Lions and American football. But they were obsessed with all of that stuff at one point, my friends. And they still may be. And look, I just want to share this with you. A lot of what is going on around us is part of huge mind control. You may not want to hear it. You may not even be seeing it. And you're going to be saying, what is this guy talking about? I really don't care. I just got to say it. And I got to tell you guys, I got to help you guys. It's my responsibility to you. It's massive mind control. The World Cup, American football, basketball. You probably saw the MMA on in America, right in front of the White House with the president and his wife in the front row seats right there. Okay, UFC. Actually, it was a great fight, but it's all. I mean, especially the UFC. Look, it's just so reminiscent. It's the present day Colosseums. All right, they're appeasing you. They're keeping you entertained. All right, they're giving you the wine. They're giving you the booze. You've got pubs, clubs, liquor stores, places to buy alcohol. In so many countries now, you got legalized marijuana. Easily on the streets, you just go out there, you'll find whatever drug you're looking for. And I know you're not going to believe me, but even the illegal drugs, that's being put out there on the streets by the authorities. The governments control it. If you're in America, the CIA is probably the biggest drug cartel in the world. Okay, they're controlling so much of that. If you're in England, MI6, the government will be controlling drugs in and out and what they are and where they're distributed. If you think I'm wrong about that, please wake up, smell the coffee. Okay, do your own research. You'll find out that it's very true. So they're keeping all of the masses appeased. You're enjoying your weekends, your times off of work in the evenings, watching soccer, watching rugby, watching American football, watching the World Cup, watching boxing, UFC matches. Okay, it's literally like the Colosseums of old times, and that is what is happening. You gotta believe me. Okay, and then you've got your drugs, your alcohol. They keep you boozed up. They keep you inebriated. All right, not of a sober mind. Okay, that's how they're keeping you. That's how they want you, docile, unaware of everything, and entertained, so that you're not putting your attention elsewhere where they don't want you to look. Right? That's what's happening in the world. So please wake up, smell the coffee. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what's going on. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying your World Cup. I made a few little notes here just to try and keep me on track with stuff. But we're going to cover some good stuff, okay? I was just saying, you know, that I hope you realize that your government doesn't love you and doesn't care for you. And you guys are probably wanting to give me pushback about that. But that's true. You're consistently lied to. I'm consistently lied to. I mean, we just got to wake up. I've been talking about this a lot in other videos, but your government, the authorities, pretty much everything around us is lying to us, whether it's the medical field, you name it. I mean, everything is funneled to deception, deceiving you. All right. And your government is doing that. The laws they're putting in place are creating the structures around you that create this deception and control you and form your opinions and limit your options. All right. That's what's happening. And look, just look at the war. We keep hearing every other week that there's peace deals trying to be done. There's peace treaties about to be signed. Okay. Look, I always want to give you people to look at. There's a guy and he needs help. This guy does incredible work, him and his wife. He's called Michael Yon. Go watch Michael Yon. This guy, he's an American guy, ex-military, special forces. He has a Japanese wife. They're a very worldly family and they travel the world and see world governments and they understand a lot. Go watch this person. So look, we're talking about the peace deals, so say, going on in the world. Forget about it. They're not even having peace talks. They're not even having peace negotiations. They're telling you that maybe on screen. They're lying flat out to you, okay? There will be no peace treaties, no peace negotiations. If there is and something's written up, it's just deception. They're deceiving you and it will all be changed in a week, right? They'll be back at war again. This is a world war already. And it's only going to grow. That's the plan and that's what's going to happen. All right, see through the deception, whether it's Russia and Europe. NATO and Russia will probably start warring. So you're going to get huge conflict within Europe and Russia, Ukraine. You've got the Middle East issues. You name it, all over the world, trouble is going to start, no doubt. And you're going to they're pushing for civil war within every country. America. I don't know about somewhere like Australia, but everywhere is close to igniting. Everywhere. So that's one of the reasons what I want to present to you about government, okay? This level of deception is terrible. War is going to be everywhere and they're lying about everything they're doing. All right. So, that's what's happening with the government. Anyway, look, it's Father's Day tomorrow. And, you know what that means, right? If there's fathers, it means that there's children. And I wanted to go in a little bit about our children. So I'm looking forward to Father's Day. I've got 2 young girls. I've got 2 children. And that's amazing. What a blessing that is. I love being with my 2 girls. I have an 18-year-old. I have a 20-year-old. And I'm going to enjoy my Father's Day spending time with my girls tomorrow. So what I wanted to say was... I'm talking about my children, and I said this in a little video. I put out some content. I was talking about Planned Parenthood. Look at the way they term this, right? Planned Parenthood. What do they call it? Reproductive health care. Look at the misleading ways that they name these things and talk about these things. It's crazy. There's no healthcare involved in that at all. So look, what I wanted to talk about, my videos were getting very dark in places. I was wanting to highlight the real spiritual nature of our lives and not to get caught up in this physical reality that we see. That's why I was just talking to you guys about how's your job going? What are you doing in your life with your friends? All right, because we're perceiving this reality around us with our daily interactions. We're looking at images on screens constantly, whether it's our phone or a big screen. I got a big screen right in front of me here. I'm actually looking at my video content that I've done. And we're just bombarded by information that we're perceiving that is forming our realities, because that's pretty much what we are. As I perceive it, we're just these organisms that are just being fed information, and we're processing it, and we're perceiving it as the physical reality only, touch, the physical things we're seeing. So the light, the vibrations through the air, through our ear, the chemicals that reach our nasal passages and we smell, and the molecules that we touch on our tongues that give us taste, and we're perceiving a physical reality. But I'm telling you, it's much more than that, okay? Start understanding about the spiritual nature of things and the forces that are acting upon us. And I'm going to try and piece all this together using my notes, and hopefully I'll make sense of this. But I wanted to talk about Planned Parenthood. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Planned Parenthood was because I wanted to show you how that is what we're perceiving right now. And we're not quite understanding through time. And not too long ago, 100 years ago, and then 500, 800, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Okay? But in reality, nothing has changed. All right? I just want you to understand this, right? I'm going to say these words, that there's nothing new under the sun. And I'm going to circle back to that in scripture. And we're going to look at that, all right? Because this is all going to piece together. And so look, nothing has changed. And this is a very important piece of the puzzle to understand life, where we're going, where we've come from, and what's happening to us right now in our daily lives. And because that's what I'm here for. That's why I keep talking to you guys. I want us all to learn about what's happening to us each and every moment and make sense of this, all right? So look, nothing's really changed. And that's because of the spirit world. All right. It may seem like there's different people, different systems, different governments in place, but nothing's ever changed. It's all the same. And the reason why is because of that. Because the spirit behind everything has not changed. It's the same spirit playing out now that was affecting things and molding things and creating the reality 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, right? When Jesus was here, and even before that, thousands of years before that. Nothing's changed. It's the same spiritual forces playing out and manifesting within us, and us then creating this reality. And we're playing out the same things, even though we think it's different. But it ain't different. There's nothing new under the sun. And that's the way it is. So listen to this, okay? You have heard of a deity, a god called Baal. And there's also Moloch. And I'm not claiming to be the greatest expert on all of this. So do your own research. Baal, Moloch. Moloch and Baal were deities, gods that we worshipped, humans worshipped way, way back, okay? And these deities were child sacrifice gods. All right. It was vital for those gods that to worship them and to pay them respect and get what we wanted from them was we would pay them in the form of our children, baby sacrifice. All right. That was what was going on with Baal. Baal worshippers were sacrificing babies to them. And in reality, what all of that is doing, which is part and parcel of tying all of this together, is you end up turning away from the ultimate creator to worshiping the creation. Okay, Baal would have been a deity that was man created and started worshiping from all of these old pagan cults where you worshipped the sun, you worshipped the earth in order to get harvests, in order to have the sunlight and to have the right amount of rain in order to reap the rewards and to be able to survive and to be plentiful. And so rather than worship the creator of everything, we end up worshiping the creation, the sun, the earth, the rains. Okay, and that would have been Baal, a deity that was part of the creation, and then humans end up worshiping it, and that was it. Baal required sacrifice of flesh. We would sacrifice our babies to Baal, throw the babies literally into the fires, and even worse things, they would mold and create statues of Baal, always the bull with the arms out, and they would place fire either within the statue or under the statue, heating up that metal statue to massively high heat, and they would place the babies on top. Unbelievable, right? Cooking their babies or putting it straight in the fire. The most horrid things, okay? And that's what we came from. That's what we were doing in the past. Horrible things, sacrificing our babies in order to, so say, get what we need to have plenty, all right? To be able to have, in other words, finances too, because we would sell the harvests and stuff, right? So look at what we were doing. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Nothing's changed. We're still doing the same thing now. Look at Epstein. Look at everyone else. Demonic worshiping, demonic sacrifices, okay? All in order to enhance their and other people enhancing their positions in the world in order to better themselves and in order to be successful. Be successful with money, be successful with wealth, be successful in their job position. Nothing's changed. There's nothing new under the sun. Now, not only were in the past these rituals and these so say ancient practices, but it's all still going on now. Not only was there Baal worship, there were so many other deities, obviously, throughout all the different places in the world. Kali, a deity, right? You can name it. There were thousands in India, deities. Look at Ashura, okay? An ancient goddess of the earth, of fertility. Basically a sex goddess. Right? And look at what would happen. All right. So let's just say we're 2,000, 3,000 years ago and we're worshiping Baal, our society, our village, our country. We worship Baal. We're sacrificing babies to Baal constantly, daily, whenever. Right? And also we're worshiping, say, Ashura, a goddess of sex and fertility and the earth. All right. How would you worship Ashura? You would worship Ashura a sex goddess through literal orgies, unbridled sexual activities, depravities, okay? Complete depraved sex. I can only just imagine it, right? And so an actual consequence of that, you just got to piece it all together. Look at all of the births that would be happening from that. Constantly worshiping sex goddesses, and the way to worship them was through constantly having wild sex, okay? No control, massive orgies, there were babies everywhere. And then you're feeding also that whole system, these probably unwanted babies being born through all of these rituals to appease these sex goddesses. And then they're just giving those babies and sacrificing them. Look at that machine, man, creating that flesh and then killing and murdering those babies, all in the name of worshiping a god, right? Craziness, sick. But what's changed? Okay, that's what I just wanted to say to you. What's changed now? Because look at where you find yourselves now. All right, you've got pornography everywhere, and I don't mean to sound like a prude, right? But I'm definitely learning a lot. I'm holding myself to higher standards. I want to be responsible for my behaviors, and I actually want to follow the guidelines of God. So I don't agree with, what would the right words be? Just random sex. I believe you should be really responsible with sex now. If I were to be following scripture and God correctly, it would be through marriage only, right? Sexual relationships. That's a toughie, right? But I have to hold myself to that standard. So, but look at where we're at. You've got pornography everywhere. You've got sexual depravity everywhere. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's being pushed in our school systems. It definitely is in the culture I know, in the world I know. It's more and more being pushed into the school system. That's for sure. Look at the sexual maturity now of the age groups. They're forcing sexual maturity onto much younger people now. That's just the world that we live in. That's what's happening. All right. The sexual content that is placed on our younger generations is huge. The sexualization of younger people is massive. You see it all day long on the big screen. You see it on the TV. You see it on music videos, right? You see it in the everyday world we're living in that is coming out now in our media, the stuff that they don't want us to hear. Look at all of the depraved acts done on children now. Ritual abuse with youngsters. It's all sexual. Okay? Look at all the pedophiles with young boys, youngsters, right? Look at the trafficking of youngsters, the torture and the sex slave of youngsters. Okay, this is what we're living in. And they're incorporating this more and more into the books that are read in schools. That's what's happening. If you don't believe this is going on, then please get out there and start looking at it, because this is what's happening, okay? So I was just telling you about Baal, Asherah, the sex goddess, back thousands of years ago. Look at what we've created now, this day and age. Total falling of our society and the moral standards regarding sex. Every time I'm looking at commercials on the screen with my kids with me, my teenage kids. It's always talking about, and the women are advertising it, and they're talking about, let's have pills, this pill, that. Oh, it's so great now. My husband lasts all night. We're just talking about things now in order to keep you hard so that you can have sex for 48 hours straight. And how amazing that is, and how we love it. And this, like, look at what's happening in the world. I didn't see commercials like that 5 years ago. I used to be embarrassed seeing commercials on TV in front of my parents or my kids talking about condoms. I'm telling you, there's a moral corruption going on, and it's being forced on us by our governments, the authorities, the people in power, and people aren't noticing it, but it's everywhere. And it's forcing us to have immoral sex, to be having sex way too early, to be having unprotected sex. You're gonna see this if you look at this, but before we started having sexual education in schools, there were way less sexual diseases. They know this to be true, that the sexual diseases and their spread and the occurrence and growth of them came at the same time when they started putting sexual education into school. All right? That will be the same, no doubt, as far as unwanted pregnancies and stuff like that. It only grew and manifested the issue. And that's what's going on, and that's what happens. And that's why they do it. That's why they start putting sex ed and teaching about sex in school. All right? They're actually bringing about the issue. And I know you're going to be saying this guy's out of his head, but he's not. Okay? That's what's going on. And so we've created a world that we live in where there is more and more pornography, rampant, unprotected sexual behavior, glorifying it. You look at every music video, movie, all right? You're not cool if you're not looking sexy and wearing lingerie and turning your guy on or being able to satisfy your girl. That's what it's about. It's not healthy. It's not wholesome, really nourishing relationships. It's not about that. It's degrading, and it's just creating a culture of rampant sexual immorality. I sound like a grandpa, but I'm saying the real stuff. This is the real stuff. And so then look at what happens. This is like Nashara, where we're having these sexual orgy practices in order to worship the fertility goddess, where we're having rampant, unprotected, unbridled, irresponsible sex. And we're creating, what are they doing? Creating babies. And back then in those days, we were sacrificing them to the demon deity Baal. Okay, but nothing's changed. Look at what's been going on in our world, in our time. I was talking about this on my content the other day. Planned Parenthood. All right? I know that a lot of people will argue now back against me and saying, oh, look at the important role that plays. I'm sorry, but I got to disagree. Okay, there was a time when I was younger and I was less informed. I would argue about it's a person's choice, their body, their choice. But I feel very differently now. When you start looking at what goes on with Planned Parenthood, abortions, the ages that they do abortions up until, they're even doing aborting children after they're born. In some states in America that goes on, it was allowed. Okay, it was. I know this. I've read about it and known the places where that happened, and it was happening. And any abortion, even at the youngest age, what are we talking about? I have to stand behind pro-life. I'm not going to stand behind murder. I'm not going to stand behind killing somebody. I'm not going to stand behind destroying life. I'm not. I would not be standing with God to be in a different stance to that. And I'm blessed, man. I'll talk about this further another time because I'm going to end up chatting way too long. And I don't want to chat too long on this video. But my children blessed me, and they, at their young ages, came to me. I didn't even need to talk about it to them. And they were saying that they would never abort a child in their body, their child, no matter what the circumstances were that created that child. Because we know that some bad situations can occur that create a child. But even so, can you say that you're correct to murder that life? I don't know. I can't, would never be able to live with myself like that. So look at Planned Parenthood. Look at who's creating Planned Parenthood. Bill Gates's father was a key member and played key roles in Planned Parenthood. I think that if you were to study, do your own research, okay, look it up. Start looking into the people that created Planned Parenthood. Start looking at who they were, what their beliefs were. And I think you're going to find that you're not going to be too happy with who those people are, where they got their belief systems from, what their influences were that were upon them. And as you start putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, I think you're going to see that they know they were creating something of no good, an organization that in actuality is the present day form of Baal. An organization that is sacrificing our children all day long. And just remember what I keep talking to you about. There's a spirit realm, a spirit force, spirit forces that are manipulating this reality and that also feed off of this realm and are connected to this reality. And when we do all these aborting of fetuses, murdering and sacrificing of children, of fetuses, it's sacrifice, and we're pleasing spiritual forces, pleasing deities. You're pleasing Baal. Planned Parenthood is the Baal of today, right? Can you believe it? And that's what's happening. Wake up and smell the coffee, people. This is real. This is really good stuff that I'm telling you guys. Do your own research. Start thinking about it. Don't even believe me. Think about it yourself. Come to your own conclusions. Understand it for yourself. But this is happening. Do you know how many abortions each year there are? Not in the world, in the States. In America alone, there's something like 1.2 million abortions a year. 1.2 million abortions a year. Only in America. That's crazy. Look at the ritual, sacrificial ritual, the amount of it, how prevalent that is. And you're telling me that this is not a spirit realm and a spirit world. And these organizations were created and are pushing us to sacrifice our own babies. And women are doing it. They're sacrificing their own babies nowadays. And they'll say that, oh, you know, what am I going to do? I can't afford a child. I mean, come on. How many people, there's a lot of people that this is the case. How many people do not know someone that when you speak to them, they say, hey, you know what? I was nearly an abortion. My parents were talking about how they were so close to having an abortion. That was the mother of my 2 children. An ex-wife now, but that was the mother of my 2 children. She was nearly aborted. I know of someone in my family that did that, had an abortion, right? This happens all the time. And there's spiritual forces playing out on everyone, making that happen. The influences that are on the screen, in the movies, saying that, okay, You, you know how hard it was for me to have the children in my world? And you heard me just 15 minutes ago saying how I can't wait to celebrate Father's Day with my 2 daughters. I don't care how hard it was for me to have these children and how tough it still is going to be going through life. But I won't swap a second of it, ever. I love having my babies. And you know how hard it was? I was divorced. I was broke sometimes. And now I'm blessed. Now I earn big money. I earn good money. I'm blessed. And I look after my girls and my doggies. All right. But there were times when probably people in my position having children would have said, oh, it would be so much easier to have an abortion and not have children and that pressure. Oh my God. So listen to what I'm saying. Wake up and smell the coffee. This is real. There's spiritual forces playing out on this world, making us sacrifice our children to the same demons, not gods, the same demons that were making us sacrifice thousands of years ago and influencing us to sacrifice babies back then. The same thing's happening now. And the same forces that were making us have children thousands of years ago with irresponsible sex, rampant sex to create babies in order to feed that cycle. It's happening now. They're doing it now more than ever. Pushing sex, sexual behavior on youngsters in our brains, making us think that it's so cool to be having that. You know what type of sex I'm talking about. Just 10 years ago, I thought that was life. I thought that was how you satisfy yourself and how you enjoy your life, was to have that type of sex. Now, all I want is a really wholesome, loving relationship with a woman. And I hope that God will bless me with that one day soon, where I have an amazing relationship with God, and it enables me to have a fantastic relationship with a woman. And we love each other so much that, yeah, we also are married and we love each other physically too. But it will be a really wholesome relationship. So, right? That's what's happening. So I'm sharing that with you, and it's the truth. I'm never going to hold anything back. If people want to disagree and say, my body, my decision, I don't stand in that camp anymore. And I think I'm correct in doing so. So we spoke about how many abortions are going on just in America, right? We spoke about how in reality it's child sacrifice now. And those same demons are working through organizations like Planned Parenthood and other organizations that are claiming to be doing something good, but they're not. Look at how they abort the fetus. They literally go up inside the female. The baby's not anesthetized, nothing. And they go in and they break its arm, break its arms, break its legs, snap the body, snap the bones, snap the legs, squish the head even. And that fetus is reacting to all of that. It's so insane. So that it's easier to come out of the girl like that. It's so sad. It's so sad. Do research and understand what's going on with abortion and Planned Parenthood. Spread the word, like, subscribe, and share this. Okay, these are difficult topics that we're going through, but I'm giving you the real deal stuff, and I'm talking about why it's happening, the real pieces of the puzzle, the spiritual forces behind this reality that you find yourself in each and every day. We got to do better, everybody. And we're going to do this together. We're going to help each other. We're going to learn and we're going to spread the word. We're going to spread the good word. Okay? Go find a guy called Russ Dizdar. I might be straying a little here. There's a gentleman called Russ Dizdar. He's actually passed away now. He was a pastor in America. He does some phenomenal work. And it might scare a few people to listen to his message, but he's the real deal. He went all around the world speaking to governments, organizations all around the world that studied things and really knew what they were talking about. Go follow that guy. Look at a gentleman called L.A. Marzulli. L.A. Marzulli does some really phenomenal work. Go look at his content. Follow all these great people out there that are teaching. They've helped me tremendously and they're going to help you. And I just want to be here to help you, okay? Now look, I'm talking about spiritual forces, child sacrifice, ancient gods that were worshipped and influenced us to sacrifice our own children. And I just want you to understand that this stuff's not a joke. Got my babies right here, my dogs. Zilla may pop up for an appearance. She sometimes does. Now look, another person to go watch. Go see whatever channel. I don't know what platform you find them on. Life is Spiritual. A married couple. Unbelievable story. Erica Mukisa and her husband, Tim Simon Kumani. Tim Simon or Tim Simon, however he says it, Kumani. All right. Their channel is Life is Spiritual. This woman was a witch. Okay. She'll tell you her whole story. They've done something like probably maybe 100 episodes of a documentary on their lives together called the Erica documentary. And it recounts her life as a witch. She got into witchcraft through her family when she was very young, probably starting as young an age as 6 years old. And she became a witch. And she will testify. Listen to her testimony. She's recounted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of facts about witchcraft, examples of it, going into the spirit world, being influenced by demons, by Satan himself, meeting these demons, and then meeting these deity in this reality, the portals that they come through, the demonic figures and entities that enter our realm and interact with us. She's documented it, or she's done it. She's part of it. She ain't lying. You got to watch this stuff. Okay? So look, I'm telling you, this happens. This happens in the UK, Europe, America, every country around the world. There's occult groups, witches, warlocks, and they use abortions as sacrificial rituals. Witches, occult groups, they find people who are, they advertise, they find groups, they find people, and they will reward them and pay them to have abortions. Because it's part of a ritual sacrificing the child. It's unreal. This is happening. Witches, covens, occult groups do this. They find women that are vulnerable and they'll pay them and reward them to have an abortion. This is happening every day around the world. All right? I was thinking that this might be more prevalent around Halloween, but at least the AI says that Halloween doesn't seem to change the numbers for abortions. It seems to be steady throughout the year. But it wouldn't surprise me, because you know what goes up on Halloween? Missing people. The homeless disappear way more. missing people is way, way more prevalent in the run up to Halloween and around Halloween. You know why? Because they're using those people for sacrifices. All right, that's happening. That is happening. You got to believe me. I know this is dark stuff, but this is the real deal. This is what is governing this reality and what plays out. Use this as evidence, pieces of the puzzle to show you what's happening in our life, what's controlling things, what is controlling your government, what is controlling your sports game you love, why they're dumbing you up with drugs and alcohol, why they're making you watch sports shows, UFC fights, okay? They don't want you knowing what's really going on. But I'm here to tell you and keep you updated. All right, like, subscribe, look at my other content, please, and share this. Get people to subscribe. We got to get a bigger community helping each other. All right, I'm doing my work and I want you guys to do your work too. This is how we do our work. All right, so that lady, Erica Mukisa, on the platform I was telling you about, who's really a former witch giving testimony to her life and what happened and the people that were really influencing her. The Planned Parenthood and the LGBTQ, and there's other letters now and plus and minus signs and all that. I give up with it. I can't keep up with that. That agenda is massive, and she'll tell you, the occult groups, the witches out there that know, they'll tell you how massive those agendas are in the demonic realm to push it. And I'm sorry if you're part of that LGBTQ community and all that stuff, transgender. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to help you other than through prayer. But these people who are giving real testimony that we're former witches, that speak to demonic entities that are in that world and have been in that world, and talk with leaders in our reality, government groups, government leaders, it's all part of rituals, and they're all pushing LGBTQ. They're pushing Planned Parenthood as agendas. She was being groomed to run and operate Planned Parenthood massively in Africa. And she was also being groomed to run and push LGBTQ agendas in Africa. It's a demonic agenda. I'm so sorry that you had to hear that. Please reach out to me, challenge me, contact me, email me. My email will be in the description, but I'm just telling you the way it is, and I'm telling you the truth. I am not going to hold back. I've been told to speak boldly, and I will. I have to. That's my responsibility to you. And so look, I'm going to read this. Ecclesiastes, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm still a little bit of a beginner, right? Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. Let's see what we've got here. The main banner above verse 9. Nothing new under the sun. And I've just been talking about this, okay? So you see how I was telling you how child sacrifice was going on since the beginning of time to ancient gods, deities that demanded sacrifice of human flesh, blood to be shed, flesh to be burnt, sacrificing our babies. Our own babies, man, sacrificed to demons, goddesses and gods that wanted us to continually worship them with outrageous sexual depravity in order to have more children, to feed that cycle so that there were more children even to sacrifice. That was going on since day one. And it's not changed now. Look at the demonic forces pushing Planned Parenthood, pushing pornography everywhere. Right in front of your nose, you see the signs on every corner in certain parts of the city. Planned Parenthood. In other words, child sacrifice. Can you believe that? Nothing new under the sun. What happened then is happening now. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Sometimes scripture in the Bible is a little tricky to read, so I got to read it a few times to get it right, to make it sound right, because you got to show this stuff the respect it's due, okay? This is a massive part of the puzzle. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. Nothing new under the sun. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Okay? It's telling you that what was happening back then will happen now. And the things that they had back then will be happening now. Okay? And even look at this thing and look at it this way. These are nuggets you gotta take in. The technologies that they had then, back then, we have now. We don't have anything new now that they didn't have back then. Okay? These were technologies that were brought down and downloaded the ideas to create these technologies. Even back then they had it. You think that Elon Musk, Bill Gates, what was the guy who created Apple? The guy that passed away. I forget his name. You think that all these technologies are new, that we're just inventing it? All this AI, these computer systems, these space rockets, these satellites, the technologies and chips that they're putting in our brains, all right? The technologies that merge man and machine, that mess with DNA and merge different animals with humans and different animals with animal. All right, that was happening back in thousands of years ago. The fallen angels brought that technology. Why do you see hieroglyphs of all these different mixed animals? Eagle's head, a man's body, wings on this, and yeah, it's a lion's body, right? You think that stuff wasn't happening? Altered DNA even thousands of years ago? That's what this is all about. That's what it's telling you. Nothing new under the sun. The technology that we're creating now and that we're going to create in the future that will play out in Revelation, they had that in the beginning of time. There's nothing new under the sun. One last time, or maybe a couple of times. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. The thing that have been is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. That's really powerful stuff right there. All right. So look, wake up, smell the coffee. Start understanding what's really playing out and what's really creating this world around us. Please go back and look at all my other content. Make sure you watch things to the end because the powerful lessons are always at the end. Sorry you didn't see Zilla. Sorry you didn't see my boy Rex. Everybody out there have an amazing Father's Day. Make sure that we're doing what we can be doing, which is doing the work. speak boldly, know the word of God, be selfless, go out there and put a smile on a stranger's face, impact someone in a really special way. Put a smile at someone, okay? Smile, be happy, be with your loved ones. Think of positive things and enjoy your loved ones. And even though we cover some really tough subjects, just know that this is always encouragement, and this is giving us knowledge and wisdom so that we can live better and that we can create a better world and we can defeat the darkness in this world. Wake up, smell the coffee, and I'll catch you on the next one.